Hi everybody, welcome back to WordHaven. I'm going to walk you today quickly through the brainstorming techniques I've made available in the lab, show you how to get up there and how to use those. So let me just begin so I can keep this short and sweet. What you want to do, first of all, to get to the lab, if you've not done much exploring in WordHaven, from wherever you land in WordHaven, you come up to one of these teleporters. Right-click on the teleporter, click on Teleport, and then use this little menu up here to choose your destination. If you're coming in from outside of WordHaven, you will probably wind up at the raft. We're at the hub right now. Where you want to go is the lab. So once I've gotten us to the lab, you click on Energize, and that will take you up to the lab. You may hear my son in the background there, and so. Of course, when you step in the welcome mat, you'll get an offer of a card for free writing. Free writing is basically just, there we go. Free writing is just an opportunity to do some brainstorming and some thinking on a subject. It is really not designed to get you thinking about your specific topic yet. It just sort of gets you warmed up. So I recommend doing a few minutes of that anytime you do any writing, but especially before you're going to do a brainstorming session. Now, to get into the lab, if you've not been there already, if you hold your cursor over the door, you should get this nifty little hand here. You can just left click if you get the hand. If the hand doesn't appear, what you need to do is right click on it and click on touch. Both do the same thing though, so you are not trapped if that little hand does not show up. Here we are in the lab. The lab, I call it that because it's got a lot of experiments here. This is your brainstorming center here. And what I've done is I've tried to identify visual metaphors for each of these brainstorming activities. And here's an example, the perception check. Because this asks you to sort of hold a mirror up to where you stand right now, what you believe right now, what you feel right now. The metaphor here is a mirror, so I've given you a mirror to click on here. You will see for perception check, and it says perception check right there, the little hands appearing, so I can left click, which will bring up a note card with our perception check prompt for this current essay. I'll let you read those prompts yourself. So I'm going to click on discard, but of course you should click on keep. That will open up the note card in your window. I'll show you how that works. There we go. It is now kept, and it will also put it in your inventory. So if you want to find it again later on, you come down, click on inventory, and here in note cards, there are the note cards I've opened most recently. Mind map clustering does two things. Now, first of all, clustering is that visual. Your book calls it clustering. It's that visual brainstorming tool. I call it mind map clustering, partially because mind map is a very common term for it, and it's much easier to find a visual metaphor for a map. So I've got a globe here, which has our little map there. So if you click on this, you will get two things. A link to a URL, which is a web page. I'll open that and click on go to page. Now what this is going to do is open up this page in my browser. You may, the first time you're in, this is bubble.us. If you looked at this last time, it is a resource you can use to do a mind map online. You don't have to use this. You can do your mind map in your in a notebook on your own, and then just write about what you came across in your blog. And by the way, you do need to complete each of these in your blog. I'll show you how to get to there from the lab as well. The first time you do that, you may get it opened up, get the web page opened up in a small browser here in Second Life. You want to open it in your own browser, and you will see a checkbox there that will give you an option to do that by default. And the reason is that browser doesn't run Flash programs, doesn't do a lot of the things a regular web browser will do. So you want to have it opened in your own web browser. And the next thing, of course, that you'll be offered is that note card, and I'll discard that. Our other visual metaphors here. For the list, I've got sort of a sticky pad here because I personally tend to do lists on little tiny notebooks, not on big pieces of paper. Here's an example where the little magic hand isn't appearing. So if I want to access the list, I have to right-click on it and click on touch. And you see it does exactly the same thing as that when that little hand appears. Focused free write is a larger pad of paper because it's a little bit more extensive, the writing you're going to be doing. questioning. I've got an old-fashioned microphone, kind of a Larry King style microphone, which I thought was appropriate for asking the journalists questions. Brainstorming, of course, we've got a brain in a jar, and it does not only offer you a card when you click on it, but it actually has a little cool brainstorm. So brainstorming. If you've not created your blog, this is probably less of an issue. I could probably make that go away, but there is a link there too of that flash orientation on how to create your blog. Finally, the Writer's Journal. Clicking on this will give you the option to open the website blogger.com. And again, if you click on Go to Page, it will open up. If you haven't used the browser before, it will open up in a small browser. Here, you then want to choose the option to open it in your own browser. So you go to Internet Explorer or Firefox or whatever you're using. And that is, watch me turn around here and the camera kicks me out of WordHaven. There we go. That is the lab and how to use the lab. Of course, if you've got questions as you start experimenting, you can corner me. And there is a text-only version of these sitting in the Unit 2 packet if you're not feeling brave. But I would like you to experiment up here, and just later on at the end of the unit when we do your reflection on the whole thing, give me a sense of whether you think this is fun or interesting, or if this would be a viable option for you in the course, were I to have only this as the place where you would go for your brainstorming. That's it. I'm here if you're stuck.